Well, good morning and welcome to Morning Gospel Fuel with Mr. G. It is Friday, October 23rd, the feast day of Saint John Capistrano. And he was a jurist. In fact, he came from a very prestigious background, but he gave it all up. He became a Franciscan friar and Catholic priest who is nicknamed the Soldier Saint. Why? Because in 1456, at the age of 70 years old, he led a crusade against the invading Ottoman Empire at the Battle of Belgrade. So feel free to look him up, but he is the patron saint of jurists and military chaplains. Today's gospel is from Luke chapter 12, verses 54 through 59. Let's begin in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. He also said to the crowds, "When you see a cloud rising in the west, you say immediately that it is going to rain, and so it does. And when you notice that the wind is blowing from the south, you say that it is going to be hot, and so it is. You hypocrites, you know how to interpret the appearance of the earth and the sky. Why do you not know how to interpret the present time? Why do you not judge for yourselves what is right? If you are to go with your opponent before a magistrate, make an effort to settle the matter on the way. Otherwise, your opponent will turn you over to the judge, and the judge hand you over to the constable, and the constable throw you into prison. I say to you, you will not be released until you have paid the last penny." Okay, so we've got the signs of the times, which is interesting because there were signs of the times way back in Jesus' day. And there's signs of the times right now. So it's never a time where there's not signs. But as in things aren't going poorly, it seems. And we know that the world is in need of truth and freedom from ourselves, thinking that humans know and control everything, which is totally not the case. But honestly, whenever I started reading this scripture, he said to the crowd, "When you see a cloud rising in the west, you say immediately that it's going to rain." I thought it started off very pleasant. Talk about raining, predicting the wind, and getting hot out, and then out comes "you hypocrites" with an exclamation point. Once again, Jesus is he's very blunt with his crowds that he's speaking to, and he says, "You know how to interpret the appearance of the earth and the sky, but you don't know how to interpret the present times." So I think a lot of us just push the present times off to the wayside, because we all know what time we know we're the present times of social justice and the coronavirus and political uproar and all this other stuff going on in modern day America in this crazy 2020 year. But then how many of us actually do something about it? We see the wind, and we see then we see the cloud rising, and we can predict the weather, but we can't see what's right in front of us in our hometowns or in our communities. And that's God, getting angry with us and challenging us to do something about it. And then settlement with an opponent, I feel like that is very fitting to come in right after that, with all the opposition that we have going between the political parties. Unfortunately, also against races, against cities versus rural, whatever it might be. We see there's a lot of oppositions, and people make opponents within our own minds, trying to make it more dramatic than what it really is, thinking that we're in control whenever we're really not, and God is. And we think that our emotional attachment to our opponents is going to help solve anything, rather than actually taking action. And again, that's what Jesus is trying to tell us again this morning. Talking about going up before the judge, and the judge will throw you over to the constable. By the way, a constable is similar to a police officer. And then the police officer or the constable will throw you into prison. He say to this, "You won't be released until you have paid the last penny." He wants us to clear everything out and just be at peace and to settle with our opponents and have freedom amongst our communities, but also within ourselves. A lot of us are caught up in the prisons of our own self that we can't get out of. So I just wonder how many people in our world don't live day to day, moment by moment, peacefully. So, otherwise, there we go. That is the challenge for today. Something out of that. Either do something about your current situation as it relates to the sign of the times, or do something so that you can settle with an opponent, um, somebody that you maybe don't agree with on something, or something that's made you frustrated. Either you, them, both of you. Something that you pushed along the wayside for weeks, months, or possibly even years, and try to make amends and move on peacefully. Okay. Have a great day and a good weekend. Oh, excuse me. Hey, if you look, you can see this red Ball State pullover 3 times in the reflection of my glasses. God bless, Father, Son, and Spirit, amen.